Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome to Roving Clans on Endless, a series in which we play the Roving Clans on the Endless difficulty in the game Endless Legend. We have a very appropriate starting screen here showing the Roving Clans crossing the desert in a terrible snowstorm with some kind of horrible weather behind them. Let's get started. You can see here my world pre-gen settings. I just like to show this screen at the beginning so everybody knows what we're doing. All of the world settings are default except that I use Pangea instead of 2 continents because I feel that the AI is a little bit disadvantaged by the large amount of water. I don't know that the AI needs any more advantages given that we're on Endless, but this is how I want to play it. So the defining feature of the Roving Clans, every faction in Endless Legend has some weird stuff going on. The defining feature of the Roving Clans, the thing that's really going to inform our playstyle, is that we cannot declare war. Now, hold on, I'll continue when we finish the cinematic here.
Some hope to control their destiny by building. Others through science or by conquest. Do they not see that only dust can give them what they want? For it is money and power and magic, all intertwined in a single miraculous substance. It is the essence that binds our civilizations together. Perhaps, as we let them believe, it is our weakness. But I have seen its wonders. It is not our weakness. It is rather how we will rule them all.
Yeah, he's not wrong about that. So let's have a look here at our starting region. Actually, let's have a look at what makes Roving Clans special. So number 1, nomadic cities. The cities of the Roving Clans are built on the backs of giant, awesome beetles, and you can get the beetles up and walk them around. So you can move your city from location to location within your region, or honestly, maybe even move it to other regions. I don't know. I've never had the need to do that. I've not actually used this trait very much at all, in fact, in all the time I've been playing Endless Legend. Maybe it'll come to use in this gameplay, maybe not. Brace yourself. Our city upkeep costs are higher during the winter, and also our trade routes are less effective during the winter, but as a little bit of an offset, our trade routes are 15% more effective than everyone else's during the summer. Winter is rough. Winter's a rough time. Makes trade hard, and trade is basically the entire thing we do. So basically, winter sucks for these guys, and as the game goes on, winter gets worse and worse. I do not know if Cold Operator, the hero skill that negates winter penalties, prevents Brace Yourself's city upkeep penalty from occurring. I guess we'll find out. Cuts both ways. We get 8% of every transaction fee paid by other empires. Anytime anybody buys something off the market, 8% of the dust they spent goes right into our pocket. So we have, due to keys to the market here, the ability to ban other players from the market, but it's actually not that beneficial for us to do so because the AI does use the market quite a lot, and this can turn out to be quite a bit of extra income. Unfortunately, it's a little unpredictable. We also have insider trading, which lets us have a lot of information about what everybody else does on the market. And I don't know how the AI uses the market. I really don't. I've played a lot of games with this, but I've just never paid that close attention to the AI's market activity. I think that I will definitely be paying more attention this game. We may be able to identify times at which it would be beneficial to us to ban someone from the market briefly and then make them pay for market access. So that could be a strategy with keys to the market. Make trade not war. We cannot declare war. The Roving Clans do not view war as a viable option. This is a serious problem. Part of the way that I have survived on Endless when I've played it in the past is that you just sort of, you target your nearest neighbor and you devour him. Or your weakest neighbor. I may have said nearest neighbor there. You target your weakest neighbor and you devour him. We will not be able to do that this game. So there's a couple of implications to this. Number 1, we need to expand quickly. Any land that we want to have, we need to carve out at the beginning of the game because we're not going to be able to just grab provinces from our neighbors whenever we want. Number 2, This means that if somebody does declare war on us, we have to think very, very hard about when we want to call the truce, provided that we're winning the war. Because we will not necessarily have another opportunity to take their stuff. Mercenary comforts, lower upkeep cost on privateers, and double life and extra movement on any mercenary unit. It's any unit that we purchase from the marketplace. I don't use mercenaries very often. I have never used privateers. We may have to this game. We'll find out. Peace and prosperity, commercial and research agreements are free. This is just commercial and research agreements, if you're not familiar, increase the amount of dust and science, respectively, that you get from trade routes. We will want to make commercial and research agreements with some people sometimes. I don't think that this really matters. I doubt that we are ever going to be in a situation where it's like, man, I'd love an agreement, but I just cannot figure out how to swing the influence cost. As far as our starting units go, we are cavalry heavy. Our base unit is cavalry with 6 move, charge, and stun, so very effective against archers, because you can get right up on them, get them those negative morale penalties. Our second unit is a ranged cavalry unit, basically. It is of the ranged class, but it has 7 speed. Fantastic scouts. And then we have the Yermak, who is infantry, but still has 5 speed. Sweep and sweep strike back. And then we start with both of the marketplace techs, Imperial Coinage and Mercenary Market. So we don't have a direct, need for dust the way that, say, the Broken Lords do, but every bit of dust we get in the early game can immediately be applied toward the market in order to get us early heroes for governance, early resource boosters and stuff. So we do want to try to open up our economy as quickly as possible. It is worth noting that our settler also has 6 speed, so we'll be able to spread our civilization out a little bit faster. I know this is only going to mean 1 or 2 turns at most of difference on most settles, but sometimes that can be all the difference. Sometimes that can be the difference between you getting a region and the AI getting it. Also, somewhere we have a red Draken player. He's going to tend to want peace because his AI is programmed to try to head in the direction of a diplomatic victory, even though he doesn't actually understand how to get one. So he's likely to be a good trading partner. Hopefully. At least a receptive trading partner. Alright, let us search here. Found nothing. So the first thing I always like to do in every game is spread out my starting units just a little bit. First of all, you need to get vision of all of the tiles in your starting region. You need that right away, because you have to know where to settle. It's a little bit less important with the Roving Clans than it is with other people, because, we can always just move our city later. I have to say, I'm really disappointed by this start. We have no anomalies. Literally not one anomaly in our starting region. We do have dye and titanium. So given that there's no anomalies, I think I'd be hard-pressed to ignore this river. Our city is just going to have a lower starting resource count than most cities would. We're going to need to take advantage of the river tiles with their 1 extra point just to kind of break even. I'm a little concerned, though. We could found here. This has an okay amount of industry, a little bit of science, fair amount of food. Actually, it's not very much food. This is 3-1, this tile. So 4, 5, 6, 7 food. That's not so bad. There is actually 0 dust, though. There's 0 dust in our region. There's not a single tile in this region. No, never mind. There's a plain down here. I really wish that there weren't ruins right here. Well, maybe what we can do is found the city here and expand in such a way that we end up getting down to these plains. Oof. I think this is one of the worst starts I think I've seen in a long, long time. Well, if you can only win when things are going well, then you're not actually good at the game. So let's try this. I think I do like this starting position, even though it is dustless. We can take a little bit of advantage of aqua pulvistics this game, maybe. Oh, we should look at our starting hero as well. So as far as capacities that help us determine what role this hero will play in our empire. Dust efficiency 2. Okay, not great. we are not going to want to apply our citizens to dust production very early in the game, so this is going to go unused for a long time, probably. Or army health boost too, which is perfectly fine. It is also worth noting that Roving Clans heroes have spying 3. They are better spies than most of the other factions. Of course, all Forgotten have spying 4, but obviously we're not going to be the best at that. So we need to keep our eye out for other good settling locations quickly. We're going to want to settle quickly because our starting city is not going to be very, very powerful. It's also, you know, worth thinking about rivers. If we're going to be picking up aquapulvistics anyway for this city, then it behooves us to settle our other cities on rivers. Try to increase the value that we're getting there. Alright. Early on, growth is tremendously important. We really need to get population in this city before anything else. The later and later you found your cities, the less and less true this gets. Okay. Our faction quest is starting up here. It has been said by men and women wiser than myself that only the gods can know the beginnings and the ends of things, and in claiming to recount a tale, one steps upon their all-powerful toes. I dare to say that I have a tale, however, and in the telling of it I hope to offend neither the listener nor the gods. For though there is a beginning, it is you who will see through to the end. Blessings then on the infinitely wise Radat, mistress of Tered and goddess of numbers, and the quick-witted Tebadel, master of words and god of commerce, and on their families and on their children, and on you and on yours. I was born Asun Ardagur, in the year of the White Sparrow, called 23rd Penitence by the Red Wizards, or 1647 ASA by the Metal Lords. The fourth son of a fourth son, I knew there would be little of my family's fortune for me, so when I was of an age I set out to make my own, armed only with the wisdom of my clan and the blazing confidence of a youth who has not yet seen great misfortune. I did, in time, see it, though I will not trouble you with the tales of those years, of the thousands of yearbat I traveled across this amazing world, of the sights I saw, of the wealth I won and lost and won again. Suffice it to say that in the year of the Silent Dove, known as 1675 by the Metal Lords, I founded this city with a handful of troops, seeking to discover the truths behind certain legends. Okay, so we have to make sure that all Saratan villages are pacified in the region where the indicated ruins lie. These are the indicated ruins. So, I think probably I will not be allowed to search them now. Yeah. Why couldn't that quest start up after I searched them? Alright, so we're both looking for new settling locations and, of course, trying to find as many ruins as we can, as quickly as we can, because everything you find contributes to your early game, and your early game, as in most 4Xs, is disproportionately important. Alright, I apologize, my mouse is having a little bit of a problem with the right-click button. It sometimes registers several clicks per click. You know, I ordered a new mouse. It is taking forever to get here. I don't know what is going on with Amazon. I mean, of course I cheaped out on the shipping, but still. So one thing that I think is really cool about the Roving Clans is that every 4X game has these economy-focused factions. And in a certain sense, it's tricky to get a good feel for why they're so powerful and important. Like, we all live in the real world where money is a thing that grants power. I doubt anyone is unaware of that. But the extent of it in a lot of these games probably seems a little silly from time to time. I think that it's really cool in this setting, though, because the dust actually is magical and powerful, and, I mean, quote-unquote magical. If you're not familiar with the Okay, build 2 luxury extractors to get better luxury extractor tech. We will, I'm sure, take advantage of that. If you're not familiar with the plot of the Endless Legend... Well, actually, if you're not familiar with the plot of the Endless series in general, which does have a couple other games in it, basically, the dust is... It's like nanomachines. It's semi-psychic, at least powerfully predictive nanomachines. And they are capable of performing what appears to be magic by doing, you know, the things that nanomachines can do. Except here, they're in sort of a fantasy story context, so it does look like it is technology sufficiently advanced, which always looks like magic. Alright, we've seen the neighbor borders a little bit. So red is over here. This is the Draken player. It's important that we figure out where our neighbors are, because, like I said, we have to carve out our little piece of the world pretty quickly. It looks like pink is playing Vaulters. I do not like this. Red is probably... I think that the AI builds a settler pretty quickly on Endless. So honestly, Red's here, and they're going to have another province in the very, very near future. If they settle forward, if they settle like here, and this... Oh, actually, this is all one province, isn't it? All the way down to the sea. Oh, if they settled this, that would be devastating. Cut us off from the west entirely. Alright, we probably need to... settle the west ourselves, then. We have to try to carve out an area. We have to figure out what the right balance is. Carve out an area where we get a lot of territory, but we don't enrage the AI so much that they declare early war on us, because the AI is vastly superior at war in the early game. Like, will kill us for sure. We have no chance at all of survival. We found enough dust to be able to rush the mill foundry, which I think is a pretty good idea. We do need to start parlaying with other villages. We need to start parlaying with the minor factions. But this is a bit of a problem. We have a lot of needs. We have a lot of needs, like, in the very near future. I think that we're going to do this. Parlay, then dust, then science. And we'll pick up cultivation afterward. We are hemorrhaging dust right now, and it's not going to get a lot better from here. So we have to make sure that these villages in this region, Taldreen, are pacified. Oh, we see blue over here. It doesn't matter how they're pacified. It can be through, you know, conquering. But conquering them requires that I bring all my units back, and it's kind of a pain. It's inconvenient. War is inconvenient. Economically. My units are much better off roaring around the globe, stealing all the dust. Or rather, my economy is much better off with my units roaring around the globe, stealing all the dust. So this region has a lot of river space and a couple of anomalies quite close together, right up against the river. I like this one a lot. We're gonna... Oh, we found a crossbow. That's cool. That's pretty powerful. Plus 30% damage is very impressive. And we have glass steel available to us in this region if we settle it. Actually, in this region as well. So we will be able to pay the equip cost at some point in the somewhat near future. Alright, what am I doing here? What is my path of exploration? I gotta figure out which way to send all my guys. Okay, so it looks like this is a sort of a bay. Blue is on the other side. So we need to settle Taldreen, possibly this region, probably Taldreen and Giala together pretty much guarantee us Gogthal. Nobody will settle this if we take both of these. And then to this side we can do something similar. Actually, Parandi by itself guarantees us Hamara, I think. Yeah, there's no land route. The AI does not like to settle a broken up nation. It wants to have a solid physical landmass. Physical landmass? What does that mean? A solid contiguous landmass, you know, is what I was trying to express there. Somewhat incompetently. So let's have a look. What are the starting costs of heroes? Right now, if we could get up to like 250, we'd probably be able to afford a hero. We also don't have access to enough luxuries of any kind to make a difference. Being able to buy strategics actually might matter. Being able to buy strategics in the very early game, I mean. Alright, our hero's gaining levels. So the Roving Clans, I keep saying Broken Lords. The Roving Clans heroes give plus dust from anomaly, plus trade route bonus, lowered ownership or increased ownership recovery rate, and lowered expansion disapproval. This is kind of interesting. You can install a Roving Clans hero in a city that you've just conquered and have it become yours very quickly. Extra dust from trade routes again. Lowered cost of unit production. And finally this, Black Marketeer, allows your city to create trade routes with any other city on the map, even one that you're like actively at war with. This will ensure that you want to put one of these guys in like your city that is furthest from all the other players, like the very back of your empire, and this will ensure that you have access to the most lucrative trade routes for your various percentage bonuses to apply to. That's pretty cool, and it can be nice to have at least one... Oh, I went in there because I was going to level up her skill. We're going to be using her as a commander, though, which means that we're going to be heading up the class tree, which for a ranged unit has such big hits in it as plus movement, plus attack, plus damage, and +1 range for your ranged units. This is one of the most powerful upgrades you can give to a ranged unit. Alright, so we're just trying to map out the space around our empire. It is worth noting that it's not always to your benefit to meet the neighbors right away, because the neighbors are going to get upset with you for claiming pearls. Even pearls that are clearly yours, even pearls that they could never have possibly gotten. If you pick up a pearl and they know about it, they will be upset. But they will not be upset if they haven't met you yet. Ooh, we got Lust for Loot. Usually if you search enough ruins quickly enough in the early game, you can get Lust for Loot going. And Lust for Loot is fantastic. So if we search this ruin right here, we'll get 80 dust. We have to use a hero for it, of course, but shouldn't be a problem. Especially given the speed of movement of all of our units. In many cases, I would have another army run over there and assign the hero to it quickly, but I don't know that we actually have to do that in this case. So we have an interesting decision to make here. Because of the path of technologies that I'm researching, we're not looking at another building that's worth building for 8 turns, probably. This is enough time to make a settler, but I don't know if it's worth negatively impacting my city's growth so quickly. No, I'm being silly. Of course it is. You gotta find time to squeeze settlers out. They're very important. We do want to minimize the amount of time we spend building the settler, though. Building a settler, of course, stops all food growth in your city, and that sucks. Okay, yes, they would like us to leave, I think. I understand where you're coming from on that one. So I'm going to leave both of those to get searched by the hero. Three turns feels like an eternity for Language Square, man. So this is interesting. We might be able to lock this region off, too, if we're quick with our cities and smart. I think Taldreen actually is secondary now. Parandi is both very valuable itself and also the gateway to a couple of more valuable regions. And if we get blocked off from the west, all that really means is that we never have to deal with blue. Alright, let's head over in the... Our hero does have 7 move, now that we have the upgrade from her first level. So it still, I think, makes sense. Wow. Still makes sense for her to do all the walking herself. This only has a 20% chance of happening, the empty location, so that was a bit of a bad beat. But we're still getting the XP. You don't have to find anything to get the experience from searching the ruin. I suppose we should finish actually mapping out these areas. We have a couple of hexes that I left unviewed. Alright, somebody has reached the second research era. No surprise that we're way behind on that. The AI starts with some pretty significant bonuses. Ooh, this region has wine. Wine is one of the most valuable luxuries. Alright, let's go ahead and end our turn adjacent to a minor faction village here. Can I do that with everybody? Yeah, and then we can have this guy end adjacent to the Saratan village there. What is our home region? Our home region has Yotus. Okay. Hey, parlay. So the Saratan would like it if we gave them 10 titanium. That would pacify them right away. Ordinarily, I wouldn't give 10 strategic resources so cavalierly away at this point in the game, but this will move our faction quest along, giving us gold, and I think it's worth doing right now. Alright, now to delve deeper. Inspect the temple ruins in Taldreen to receive the Roads of Dust. +8 industry on the city is pretty cool. I don't have to use my hero, right? Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Oh, okay. Well, I'm having a problem with my mouse right now. You know, I ordered a new mouse. I have no idea what it's taking so long to get here. Amazon needs to step up their game. Alright, these Erisys would like us if we destroyed a Silix village in Yulin. This one. This is one of those faction quests that gets relegated to the back seat. Alright, 80 dust. You get 15 gold for searching where? Oh, right there. Wow. Get over there and do this. Do that this turn. Alright, so that gave us 15 more gold. 10 quicksilver for, again, what looks to be about 1 turn worth of walking. Let's have a look real quick at this. Activate 4 luxury boosters in order to get 130 wine. Wine is very good. These legendary deeds are slightly randomized. Basically, the top 2 in each era each have 2 variations. Sometimes this one is activate 4 luxury boosters to get 130 of a random resource, and sometimes it's accumulate 30 of any resource in your bank to get 130 of a resource. That one would have been really good for us because we have a lot of things giving us gold here. Alright, we have one more unit. Okay, the Sisters of Mercy would like it if we parlayed with at least 5 minor factions. That should be completely trivial. I appreciate them giving me a quest to do a thing that I was definitely already going to do. Makes things a lot easier that way. Alright, our settler is done, and we need to scoot over here and... Ordinarily, I don't recommend settling a region prior to your first Empire plan, and I think probably what we're going to do, actually, is get over there and just sit there and wait until the Empire plan ends, or the Empire plan occurs. Because your new city will not have existed for long enough to offset the amount by which it raises the cost of the Empire plan, and you may end up without an Empire plan for the first era. Alright, so there's 15 titanium and 15 more gold over here. Well, I guess we get to get real familiar with red. Let's keep the parlay up so that the Sisters of Mercy will like us, because it's important to us when people like us. If we give the Kazanji 10 wine, they will chill out. I don't think that we're going to be doing that. We are going to activate this because 10 will not be enough for us to activate it anymore when we found our second city. We are trying to angle for that, for the wine from that legendary deed. Alright, so let's grab this part of our faction quest. Thus the city was founded, and my first efforts came to glorious fruition. For, if I was not mistaken, the object I had discovered would lead me to even greater treasures. Indeed. So get a Wild Walker's hero, equip them with the Roads of Dust manuscript, and assign them as a governor in a city. That's interesting. It is said by the sages that any undertaking must balance the influences of the past, the present, and the future. With a city established and troops at my command, I felt the present was more secure than it had been for some time. As for my plans for the future, they depended very much on what I discovered in the ruins from the past. For upon Auriga, the past is a weighty thing indeed. The relics I had recovered hinted at something truly enormous, a great complex of wonders and wizardry hidden somewhere beneath our very feet. Curse me thrice if I did not weep with joy at the discovery. For dust is not merely our tally and currency. It is stuff that has great power on its own. And should I amass it in the quantities I saw in my dreams, I was sure that I could shape the very stuff of which our world is made. The ancient whispers and legends I had heard held some grain of truth. But, how much? Alright, the Wild Walkers have secrets of construction not known to other factions, so we need to hire a Wild Walker. Let's see if that is a thing that can be done. It is not, in fact, a thing that can be done. There are no Wild Walkers heroes. Also, we are very slightly short. The cost of these heroes goes up a little bit every turn, and we are very slightly short of being able to hire... Oh, well, we didn't get to search this ruin yet. Okay, 30 dust. That should put us on hiring. So we are going to hire a hero for our city right now, and we'll hire a Wild Walker's hero, later when one becomes available. But I think it's too beneficial to have a hero as governor. So a Dust Boost 3 and a Broken Lord. This looks pretty promising. Broken Lords get plus dust on terrain with rivers. Obviously, we have rivers available. They get plus dust on terrain that has dust on it. They get plus resource from deposit. All of the strategic and luxury resources in the region of this governor's city just produce more resources every turn. This is really powerful, actually. It's deceptively powerful. And then, of course, at the top, more dust, more dust, more dust. I actually think Broken Lord's heroes are better at dust generation for most cities than Roving Clans heroes are. Alright, and I didn't talk about what Dust Boost 3 actually is real quick. Plus 6 dust per hero level. So as this hero continues to level up, it's going to get pretty good. We do need to find some more dust or reallocate our people, though. We are running a deficit that we can't really afford to run for very long. Oh hey, a ruin. I should totally search that. We gotta keep on the research. I've already forgotten. Where's my quest log? It's over here. Did the Sisters of Mercy... They were going to give us emeralds. Okay, that would be nice. I would like some emeralds. I would like some emeralds, not because emeralds are any good, because they're not, but rather because... Make sure there's no region in Guyala, or no army in Guyala for 5 turns. That is something that will probably auto-complete. We don't have to think about that anymore. We want the emeralds so that we can pop an extra luxury booster for the legendary deed. I'm going to try to skirt Red's territory for now. They don't like it when you run military units through their stuff. So we'll try to avoid actually stepping directly into the region. Okay, this is luxury booster number 3. One more luxury booster activated will get us that legendary deed. Alright, now we have not actually spoken to Parandi's tribe. Oh, there's a cliff here. We can do that with our settler. Actually, we can probably just have our settler search that ruin because he's going to be sitting still and not doing anything for a little while. Okay, to pacify the Bos in Hamara, don't put any influence in the military ministry and set the economy and population ministry to 1. I probably will not do that, to be perfectly honest. Unless we do something that gives us extra influence, this is almost certainly what we're doing on our empire plan. To do this as well would cost us 40 influence, and the odds of us getting to 40 influence in time are not great. I guess I could make it happen. We have 7 more turns of influence generation, so we would naturally be at 32. I could pull... After this turn, after someone gets born, I could pull people over to influence for a little while. Yeah, okay, that might be what I do. And then we'll settle this, send this guy back north and try to talk to the regions up here. We'll get those Sisters of Mercy pacified yet. Not because I even want their pacification, but because I want those emeralds. Well, it looks like it is time now to divert into enemy territory. You can see, like I said, he's already got 2 cities. They settle pretty quickly. You get to just keep leveling up your class tree. We are at least going to get to search some ruins this way. Alright, this turn we have to change up what we're doing a little bit. I think actually I have to do this for right now. I can't really afford to move on to influence. And to do this so as not to lose... if you run out of money, the game makes you start eliminating military units until you can afford to pay for the ones that you have. Hopefully we'll find some dust in this ruin. So these guys want us to kill some monsters in these ruins up here in order to get Titan Bones. Titan Bones are pretty great. Unfortunately, I don't know that we're really in a position where we can fight monsters. At least not until we get our hero back. Alright, if we give these guys 50 dust, they'll tell us what they want us to do and also give us 10 influence. That's a cool thing that we're just not going to be able to do. We did get our emeralds, though, so... There's a legendary deed completed. We're going to activate those right now so that we go to Fervent, so that our dust problem is slightly resolved. And then I think we're going back to food. Alright, this guy needs to finish investigating this region. So yeah, we're probably not going to settle until turn 20. And I am, in fact, going to... Oh. What's happening now? Aw. We did not get an autocomplete on the quest. And also, somebody's destroying things. Destroying things that we need for quests. Alright, after our hero gets this, we're going to do a reassign. Assign our hero to this army. And maybe actually... go ahead and clear these guys out for the Titan Bones, because Titan Bones are pretty valuable. I find nothing in the ruin. Well, that's a bummer. Did I parlay with these guys already? I think I did. I think I spoke to that village. Yeah. No. No, apparently I did not. Colonize this region. Maybe get some wine. Okay. It is worth noting that this region has a bunch of anomalies near a river. That's not totally crazy. Actually, geez, look at the amount of dust on this tile. What would be my next settle? Acha apparently has 4 anomalies crumbled up together, is what I was going to say. Clumped up together on top of a luxury resource of some value. And if I settle Parandi and then Acha, it basically locks these two into my empire as well. But Pink would be very, very upset about that. We would almost certainly have to fight pink if we do that. Is it worth it? Hard to say. We'll continue to close up on these ruins. So, really, it is at this point that I have to make a decision. How much do I want to make that influence target? Because if I do this, we'll have 5 turns of +4. We'll get to 42. Yeah, I'm going to do it. We're going to go for the double empire plan. I think it's worthwhile. We're also going to continue to produce military units. This is going to hurt our income for our dust for a minute. But I want to run this guy over and have him join up with that guy. And you need to figure out where you're settling and be there so that you can just fire it off when the turn hits. So, this anomaly has some dust on it. Like, settling right here is a lot of food and a lot of industry and not very much dust at all. But expand one tile in either direction to get a little bit of dust. And it's easier for this to expand up here and grab some of these dust tiles than it is for, like, settle down on the canyon floor here. Plus, this expands westward to grab more river very easily. So yeah, this settle or this settle maybe. Do any of these have bonus approval on them? This one does. The Earth Tower does. Just the Earth Tower. Okay, I think this is it then. And you just get to chill there for a couple of turns. That is not the most efficient thing I could have done, building him so early when I didn't actually intend to settle the city. But I saw a gap in my production that seemed like it was a good time. Plus, the other bonus of running this dervish out to meet that one so that we're ready to fight these monsters is that I get to parlay with these guys and see what they want. Okay, they want us to come back with 3 minor faction units. That's probably not happening. So we're going to have to pacify these guys some other way, which probably means conquering. Ah, this is frustrating. They could move exactly together if the space between them wasn't a ruin. Well, here's what we'll do. We'll search this. Get our gold and titanium. Search it again. Get some dust. And then we'll pop this hero onto this army, which will award them a point of movement from her bonus movement skill. There we go. And we get to merge up. We get to fix our income a little bit. Somebody beat us to pacifying 8 villages, and not by very much, the Draken player. I think we've done alright on village pacification, actually. Okay. Empire Mint needs to happen immediately, basically. Alright, so this should be pretty easy. We get our Titan Bones right away before we even fight the monsters. Alright, Vine Snakes do a fair amount of damage relative to some of the other minor factions. Basically, there's like 2 classes of minor faction units. There's the Capable class, which is most of them, and then there's the Sisters of Mercy / Eyeless Ones / Drider class, which is no threat at all to anyone ever. Alright, well, let's specify a little bit for our units a path they should take just to make sure that everybody lines up in a way that makes sense. Okay, we did get a stun off. It was the second attack that stunned, not the first, which maybe doesn't seem significant, but let me assure you, is a little unusual. Ooh, 52 damage. 52 damage, and we dealt 1. And these guys do have sweep strike back, which is unfortunate. We took a lot of damage there toward the end. But minor faction pacified. And that's doubly important because that's a region that we're about to settle in, so that'll be a free point of population right away. It's handy. Alright, what did these guys want again? They want us to colonize the region and they'll give us wine. That's a thing that's worth pursuing. What did these guys want? They wanted... Oh, kickstarting. They wanted us to donate them some wine. Well, you know what? I think it's time to go back and handle these guys in our home region. Okay, what is down here? Turns out it is another minor faction village. In the next turn or two, the minor faction villages that are not pacified are going to spit out an army, and so it is a good idea for us to deal with this now. Fortunately, close enough that our capital will get to contribute troops, and in fact, we will be letting the capital do almost all of the fighting. I don't want to injure my army. The capital troops are completely expendable. We will keep our hero in a position to shoot at least. Alright, so you guys are in hold position mode. The Yotis are dangerous because of... well, the Yotis are dangerous in a lot of ways. You may notice that our militia are still infantry, technically, but they're totally riding stuff. I think they're not counted as cavalry for balance reasons, because them being cavalry would actually be pretty different for the purpose of various bonuses. That was a weird little move where their guy ran away. I guess trying to attack a unit that he no longer has easy access to. His target must be one of these two. Alright, just so we're clear, everybody change focus. Attack this guy. Our hero should be more than sufficient to deal with the other one. Alright, and our units are having a remarkably hard time killing these guys. Come on, hero. There you go. Alright. So our capital also now needs to rebuild that village. We're gonna induct these guys into our empire by showing them that we're sorry. So we're sorry about that thing where we burnt down your village. And we prove it by rebuilding the village we burnt down. And this guy is going to head up with the goal of reforming into a single army. We do need to pump out another settler, actually, as well. Oh, I've left... Yeah, we're fine on this. Let's do this. I wouldn't ordinarily try to settle a second region so early, but like I said, I think we're in a position where an aggressive double settle gets us a lot of really good, valuable land. And honestly, I want Candre as well, but we'll see. The fact that Pink hasn't settled Acha yet makes me think that their first settle went this way, since we can't see it over here. It must have gone that way. Which hopefully means that they won't mind us taking Acha too much. Oh wait, this is a Q. The region's name is Achk. Okay. I guess. Whatever you say, game. These native Oregons have a bit of a weird way of speaking. Alright, so let's mass up and start dealing with minor factions that need to be dealt with. So you wanted wine. Kendre wanted us to settle there, and then they'll give us wine. Oh, we actually have a ton of wine, though. We can just give them... Yeah, I'm being silly. I'm forgetting that we won a bunch of wine in a quest. Actually, can you just pop over here and handle this, then? Instead of sitting around waiting? Okay, good. And then get back over here. Alright, the sooner we can get all these regions pacified, the less we're going to have to deal with wandering assholes, basically. We are definitely a little bit behind where I would like to be as far as scientific progress goes. Okay, 2 turns to the settlers done. I guess I can see that right here. I didn't need to do a thing. And then we can finally drop this village, or drop this city. Mill Foundry, then Empire Mill. Get on it. And you can see we have the bonus point of population from the pacified village already. Alright, so I think that we've got a pretty good early batch of turns here. I don't think that our starting region is terrible. But a lot of the other things about our start are pretty good. We have a lot of really, really interesting, valuable surrounding regions. If we can do this thing where we settle Ochk quickly, then we can still settle westward as well. Get Tal'Dreen, probably Gogthal, maybe leave Gaiala to blue. Did we figure out what blue is? We didn't. Because there's a couple of options, right? Blue could be cultists or something. In which case, forward settling is a little bit less contentious. I mean, they still throw a fit about it. What do I actually want to do with this army? I guess we just head over here and try to keep an eye on whether Pink is attempting to settle. We may be able to perform a short-term... Yep, Hamara is now pacified. That's nice. There's 3 villages that we pacified by doing that. We may be able to perform a settler block for a turn or 2, which would be all that we need. Thanks to our very fast-moving settlers. Ah! Too slow. Too slow by just a little bit. Alright, then we need to settle Jewel, I guess, to make sure we get that. Do I want to take Condre first? Condre does have some pretty attractive territory. Look at all of the dust that's available here along this river. Gonna get that as well, for sure. We have a ton of river tiles. And also, dust from river. Alright, once we get our economy really online, we're going to be buying lots and lots of governors very quickly here. This is all about ramping up. I'm going to tell you right now, I think that probably we have an economic victory in our future. If we're going to win it all, that's probably how we're going to do it. I am very disappointed that we missed this by so little, with this region being so strategically valuable. What does the territory in Jewel look like? Alright, if we settle, like, here to take advantage of these 2 anomalies, we'd have 12 industry, a ton of food, very little dust again. And we could settle over here instead. And get a little bit more dust, still good food, still decent industry. This region, this settle has 4 dust instead of 2. No, I think it's like, maybe not here, maybe it's here. So that it's easier for us to build out. We can like triangle like this and get all 4 of the anomalies in the city. No river, but, you know. Can't all be perfect. Plus, we do already have these 2 villages pacified. Yeah. I'm very torn. Kendre, if we took Kendre, it would be the site of probably quite a lot of friction, but... No, we have to We have to take Jewel, I think, and then start building another settler fairly quickly. Get Conjuring next. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Alright, so we're looking to hire a Wild Walker's hero for Parandy as quickly as is feasible. Is there one available yet? No, actually. That's annoying. Let's try to make sure that... I think we pacified this region quickly enough that no minor factions are going to have spawned. Let's check out this region, though. Okay, yeah, we got a couple of vine snakes we got to deal with. Let's make sure those get dead. Obviously, Hamara's going to be an okay city. We'll pick that up eventually. It is not my top priority. Let me get the public library finished. Also started, both of those things. Okay, what do I have that I don't care about? We're not ever going to use those other 5 emeralds. So what could I get for selling them? Not a lot. Nobody's going to buy emeralds, though. Like, demand is never going to be better than it is now. We're never going to get a better price for them than now. We may as well just get rid of them. Oh, I didn't use the Titan bones before settling. Shit. I forgot. I totally meant to. Isn't it all feasible to buy 5 Titan bones? It is. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. We'll just pay the price for our ignorance, but still get our Titan bone booster on, because really it's pretty important. But yeah, that's 80 dust that I didn't need to spend. Basically just ignorance. This is why you pay attention to what you're doing. Remember, from turn to turn, what your plan is. We do want to keep the wine rolling so that we stay at fervent. The boost from being fervent is just too valuable to ignore. And we're going to hunt and kill vine snakes, in part because it's easy, in part because we want this region to be available to us in the future, and in part because the combat XP will be valuable for our units. Basically, it's a win-win-win-win-win. Alright, we do need to get our strategic extractors online. We're going to need 2 more techs after that from the first era. So given the rate of our expansion, I think sewer system's probably going to be important, and then we'll pick up cultivation as well. We're going to have to come back for open pit mine if I do it that way, though. Because we do want open pit mine. We have access to a number of good luxuries, and also we have a quest that gives us enhanced gathering of those luxuries. So I guess... Do I want to put off sewer system until... Maybe I'll get central market instead. Do it that way. But actually, this is still too many techs. Like, that gets us there. Alright, we'll come back for stuff. There's not really that many things in Era 2 that need to be researched. You can afford to put a couple of Era 1 techs in there. I see that Red destroyed this village. We're going to try to keep them from doing so to this one, hopefully. Okay, somebody has completed the Museum of Origa. It is often the case that the AI does not value those buildings very highly, so it was Green who did it. Green, the only player that we know nothing about. No, sorry, we also know nothing about Purple. Well... That's a global scale problem that we just cannot afford to be worried about right now. We must maintain something of a narrow focus for the next foreseeable future. I guess I can go get that ruin. Pink hasn't actually closed their borders to us yet. Although I'm sure they will in the very near future, especially if we settle Kendre. We may be condemning ourselves to a Well, I was going to say we may be condemning ourselves to a lack of empire plan for the next empire planning phase, but I guess what we'll end up doing probably is just pulling some people onto influence for a little while. Oh, you do not need to all be on dust. Why don't you guys make sure that the foundation of the city gets constructed? I would still like the wine from finishing this quest. I know we have a bunch of wine, but our luxury boosters are going to get pretty expensive with all the expansion that we're doing. Alright, we found nothing in the ruin, but we did get a level out of it. And who have we met now? Oh no, it's just... Yeah, that's a good way to think about it, I think, for everybody's sake. Because seriously, if you start shit, I will end you. Alright, well, we know now that blue is not cultists. In fact, from this construction, it looks... Oh, no. I think blue's necrophages, right? Isn't this necrophage architecture? Okay. We have a new problem. Well, I think that's what we're going to call this episode. The first infrastructure building episode is always a little bit slow. I hope you'll stick with the series. If you're having trouble with the game, I hope that I can teach you a thing or two, help you do better in your own gameplays. And come back next time to see how I negotiate having a neighbor who lives solely to devour living things. We'll see you then.